Welcome back, everybody. The cat is going to now disappear. Abra cadabra. And the cat has disappeared. We welcome you back. It is another edition of New Guitar Day, although this is a bit of a Groundhog Day version, because once again we're here with our IYV ILS. I believe this is the 300. This is the Emerald Green Les Paul, which I have now bought 4 of. I sold one last week. The price keeps inching down. They're such a good deal, I can't resist it, more than likely. In fact, with absolute certainty, I will end up selling this guitar, unless this is just the Holy Grail, in which case I would sell another guitar, because in the end I only want one of these. But again, they're going down in price, which is just fantastic, so I thought I'd take a chance and get another one. So without further ado, we're just going to pop it out of the box, take a look at it. Today is March the 20th, 2023. It's officially the first day of spring, although in Montana, spring comes slow, very slow. So it's pretty chilly outside, although nothing brutal compared to other weather that we've had. It's supposed to snow again tonight, although I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to. And yeah, so we'll just pull this out, take a look at it. Has some nice subtle flame, has the typical schmutz on it that we've grown to love and appreciate. We're going to just do a very quick, because the other one I got, now see, this has a bit of a flaw right there, which is no big deal at this price point, but it's just good to know where the flaws are. Once again, the fret ends feel wonderful on these guitars. A little rough up here at the top, but not anything to worry about. Certainly no issues at the headstock. A little schmutz, a few fingerprints on it. But for the most part, I don't see anything that's outstanding. So I'm going to go stretch the strings, plug it in, and we'll be back to give you, actually I'm going to weigh it real quick. And it comes in at 7 pounds, 4 ounces, or 7.4, however that converts. It's probably a little more. So it's 7.5 pounds. So reasonable weight. So anyways, we'll be back. Welcome back. It is now going on 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This guitar arrived at 12 o'clock today. It acclimated for 3 hours, pulled it out of the box. No issues whatsoever. Again, this is number 4, so I don't really have much to add. This will be the shortest of the 4 videos. Other than the obvious, which is number 1, this guitar is an incredible value. Number 2, based on my limited experience with IYV guitars, at least this model, because I've had 4 of them, the consistency is really good. This guitar is just as good as the other 3 in all ways. Stretch the strings, tune it up, stretch them one more time, played it for an hour, the guitar stays in tune, the intonation feels good, action was a little high on the treble side, 1 turn of the screwdriver. I can't find any high frets, doesn't choke out anywhere. You get the typical cheap string, you can't really see, dirty fingers, because obviously this guitar's been sitting in a box for a while and in warehouses and on ships and whatever it takes to get to the United States. But the tone of the strings is really good, and I'm too cheap to change them, and since I'm going to be selling this guitar anyways, yeah, I'll let the next person decide what kind of strings they want on it. The fret ends are smooth as glass. The frets themselves are a little bit scratchy, but not too bad. And you can play that out. You can pull the strings off and polish your frets. Most people would do that. Again, I'm lazy and I'm cheap, so I won't do that. I'll just play it out. I'll probably play this guitar for 2 or 3 days, give it a good wipe down, put it back in the bag, and then put it up for sale. And then that way I can advertise it as being a guitar that was literally brand new, pulled out of the box, minor set up to taste, played a few times, ready to go. So again, there's a lot of talk about why this guitar got pulled off the market. Some people say it was the headstock. I don't think so. I'm not really sure why. But for whatever reason, it did get in the hands of secondary sellers who apparently were buying these things by the pallets. And when they're gone, they will be gone. I don't think they'll come back. Again, I know green's not everyone's favorite color. I hesitated buying it because it's not my favorite color. But once you get it, and again, it's not over the top flame, but from all accounts, it is an actual veneer because they're not identical. And it does have some movement when you go back and forth on it. Not a lot, but it doesn't take much. Again, though, and this one comes in at 7.6 pounds. Which is a really nice weight for a Les Paul. The first one I got was 7 pounds. The second one I got was 8 pounds. The third one I got was 7.5 pounds. And this one's 7.6. The tuners work fine. The nuts cut well. Some people say it's bone. I have no idea. To me, it doesn't really matter. It's cut well. The guitar stays in tune up and down the fretboard. There doesn't seem to be any binding when you're tuning it. There's no pinging on the bridge. The potentiometers work fine. They seem to have a good, I don't know what the word is, but if you turn it up, the volume comes up. You turn the tone up, the tone comes up. There's not a lot of drop off. Switch works fine. I'm sure it's all really inexpensive hardware, but for the time being it works fine. I happen to like the CNC Destiny CNC wound pickups. I believe they're low output. I don't believe they're waxed. They mimic a vintage PAF pickup quite nice. Probably wouldn't work for high gain, high crunch, chug kind of music. Although I'm sure with the right effects you could probably get that, but it certainly has a nice vintage sound to it. Good for classic rock. The clean is wonderful. It's got great sustain on it. Again, for a set neck guitar, I guess the fingerboard is Jacoba, or I have no idea. It's some iteration of imitation rosewood, but it works fine. Sort of red, but most people say if you put some oil on it, it darkens up. I could care less. So that's my review. There's really not much more else to say. Again, I filmed this specifically, purposely, for my protection when I get it out of the box, just if there's any obvious flaws. And this guitar has a few minor cosmetic issues, which one would expect at this price point. None of it affects the playability, and so overall I'm quite satisfied. So thank you again for joining us. We have another guitar coming on Thursday or Friday, which will be a Indio from Monoprice, OS20, and it's their version of a Jaguar with a humbucker, a single, and a single. And it looked interesting, and the price was too good to pass up. And who doesn't like a good price? So anyways, thank you for dropping by once again. It is March the 20th, 2023, first day of spring. Although, as I mentioned earlier, in Montana, spring usually doesn't really start settling in here till the middle of May. So we still got 6 more weeks of who knows what. Probably some more snow and some more cold weather. But be that as it may, summer will eventually come, I certainly hope. Anyways, have a great day. We'll be back here in a few days with another new guitar day.